vote for that, please.
Yeah.
How do you
Please.
how do you-
Yes.
See what happens.
North Dakota taxes at 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be
North
0%
Dakota.
Arizona,
It's-
and they're not going to
They're
Arizona.
compensated, yes, ma'am.
Carol, why did you vote for the prosperity zone bill before the House?
Yeah, that's.
And what is it?
Yeah, right. Well, it's a 100-page bill, and to be honest with you, we got wind of it that morning, and we really didn't know what it was, and we didn't have time to research it. It was the speaker's bill, and so they struck title on it. I voted for it. As I continue to research it, right now, I'm changing my vote when it comes back, if
Well,
it
I don't
does.
understand why you would ever vote yes on something that you don't know what you're voting for.
Because the caucus, this is kind of what happens with the caucus and the speaker's bill, and we, like I said, a bunch of us that are freshmen were sitting in the back room scrambling, trying to read and understand what that bill meant.
Well, I understand it's already passed the House, so your vote's already.
No.
They struck title. They struck title, which
This
means
is,
it's.
this is one thing that we've learned, that there's a process called strike title, which means it can't be a bill without a title. You can't have a law without a title. And so when they strike title, that pretty much means, hey, we want to keep this going, we're still working on it. But if you shut it down right now, there's nothing we can do with this later on. So we're still working on it. Give us the benefit of the doubt if you would right now. So most of the time, we give them the benefit of the doubt, say, you go work on it, bring back what you work out, and then we'll make our final decision when the title's on.
What is that bill about?
This is a dangerous proposition to be starting having zones in Oklahoma for people to have enterprise that have absolutely no government oversight, or they're exempt from all of our laws. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
That was voted for?
Yes.
Yes, it wasn't presented that way, I will
Okay.
tell you. So I'll tell you,
I
that's not
understand.
how it was presented. If you go back and listen to what the deadline week, we listened to on the House side 60 bills a day. We were there for 14 hours. They brought in dinner, we didn't break. It was exhausting, and they presented that late at night, and we were all like,
Oh,
wait,
one of
what
those.
is this? What is it? I mean, so the way it was presented was, of course, an economic engine for Oklahoma.
So who do you guys consult with? Like Senator, who's your first, second, third person or entity that you consult with when a bill is presented to kind of try to understand it if you don't?
I'll go down the hallway and ask a more senior member and say.
That's not always the best way to do it
Ask
either.
what do you see in this, tell me the ups and downs about it. We'll do that. I mean, if I receive emails, I read every email.
Are you
Try to
going
learn as much as I can about it.
Are you going to vote for this one?
I don't think it's going to be the same bill that she voted on. We will wait.
So it'll be changed dramatically.
So to answer your question, I don't know what the bill's going to
So the heart of
be.
the bill is it establishes prosperity zones.
Can you all hear?
No.
It establishes prosperity zones, and it would deny municipalities and the state, including our elected officials, the right to enforce regulations within these established zones. Oklahoma will be the first state to pass this kind of legislation. And as the bill is currently written, which it may change, it may not, but I know you voted for it. I know that I would be fired from my job if I approved a project that I hadn't even looked at.
Right.
And that project affected the same.
You understand, the vote was not to approve.
Okay, you voted for a bill.
She voted for the bill to
Yeah.
stay alive so that we can see how they're going to work it
How
out.
could you vote, but that could pass because you voted yes.
There are some-
No,
didn't work
that's
out.
not true.
But if you don't know what it is, I still don't understand voting for something yes that you don't.
Then it'll just pass.
Well, what happens is.
So it could just pass. Is that?
No, it has to come back to the floor. And so what you say when the title is struck, what you're saying is, all right, not saying yes or no with you right now, Mr. Author. Keep it alive, gives me more time to study it, gives you more time to work it, and when it comes back on the floor, I'll have a better understanding of what the bill is all about, and I can re-vote, and I can change my vote at that time I want to. Because when the title is on, then it goes to the Senate. When the title's on, then it goes to the House. Okay, and then they work on it. So when you say the title is struck, okay, you may be voting affirmatively, But many times what you're voting affirmatively for is, okay, keep it alive, work it over. There might be some things in there that can come out of that'll be good. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time. And then bring it back and tell me what you've worked out, and then we'll vote again when it's for real.
It may not come back to you, is that correct?
If it doesn't come back, then it can't become a law.
Then it's not a law, it's dead.
Okay,
There's lots of
So-
bills that died last week. by
so
the way.
it could have,
Lots of
because you voted
Lots.
yes, and because it did go on, if they.
No, it didn't go
It
on.
didn't go on.
Did not go
Well,
on.
true, okay.
They're
In this-
working
in this
on it.
case, in this case.
In
But it-
any case where they strike title. I bet you we
Where
struck
they strike
title
title.
on 200 bills last week.
Okay,
That does not mean they're going on. That means they're working on them and they weren't clean bills.
Because-
potentially, if you vote yes on something and you don't know, it could become a law though.
If the,
Right.
If
I
the
agree with you
title-
totally.
If the title is not
Yeah.
struck.
That's
So
very-
what I'm saying,
that's
so
very,
that
very
was a
scary.
gamble, right?
No, they presented it as
Oh,
striking
they
title.
presented it to you.
What happened
Got it.
was they started debating it on the floor at 9:30 PM. Okay, and so we'd already been there 12 hours. We're all scrambling. I'll be honest, you asked where I went? I was like, well, who ran the bill? And I mean, who's the request by? Who's doing this? And then I started Googling. I too learned that as I'm sitting there at the desk listening to this back and forth going, oh my gosh, we're the only ones in the country that be doing this. Well, what are we doing? And then it was, this will help rural communities. This will help economic growth. They didn't talk about the rules. Then they realized what happened as the back and forth goes on, they realize they're not going to get the votes. Then there's the floor amendment, strike title. And I'm like, oh, okay. That means that it's not, okay, then let's stop debating it because that means they're going to go back to the drawing board because they did not present it.
Right.
Just, Pat, let's just get it off the floor and move on to other things. I mean, guys, seriously, that's all it did. Okay, and
Let me just, that's understandable. Was this a constituent request?
I don't know.
it was an OCPA request
Ew.
OCPA is.
The devil.
to the speaker.
Oklahoma Council of Public
Okay.
Affairs.
It's not necessarily the devil, it's one of the 2 think tanks we have in the state. So, but that was who requested it, so I'm just letting you all know.
One more.
I want to
Okay.
finish.
One-
Let me
Okay,
just
finish
real
and then
quick.
we'll go to
So that
you.
everybody, because like I said, this stuff is voted on, nobody knows about this. And it is a huge, this is big. And once again, you guys know it ties the hands of cities and state providing reasonable oversight and regulation of manufacturing, agriculture, energy production, imagine that, and other enterprises within a prosperity zone. So please keep fighting against this and keep contacting people.
Don't contact me on it,
You
you need
guys,
to call
she will be voting no.
Senator,
Thank you.
Representative Speaker, Charles McCall. It was his bill.
It was the speaker's.
Speaker's bill. So you need to contact the Speaker's office and let him know how you feel.
You've been